Welcome back, Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Mike Johnson, Congressman Mike Johnson, who's already reelected. Nobody ran against him, so Mike doesn't have to go through all the rigmarole of running another campaign. I know you're tick of death about that. But, Mike, you know, the president's out there with his rhetoric hating on minimum of half the people in this country, calling us bad, bad people. And I read a story. We're not a democracy. I wish he quit saying that. Democracy is always going to mob rule and the Marxism and the communism eventually. We're a republic. Our form of government's different where we have free speech. In other words, what we talked about earlier. People have a right to go worship the devil if they want to. But we have a right to stand up against it if we want to. So, but is it dangerous what the president's doing? Because he's really, really calling people like you and me out in a big-time way.
Yeah, they have a fundamental misunderstanding of what America is. We're a constitutional republic, of course. We have democratic principles, but this is not a democracy. A democracy is two wolves and a lamb deciding what's for dinner, as we always explain to our con law students. You know, I teach the Constitution to undergrads, and I'm constantly amazed at how little they know because they're being indoctrinated into this, into this other kind of language. And the Democrats do it all the time. Every single speech that Nancy Pelosi gives, she talks about our democracy. You got to have an accurate understanding of history. But look, here's Joe Biden, right? The divider in chief now. He has taken it upon himself to call out and demonize about half the country, right? We're all fascists and extremists because we won't go along with his radical left socialist agenda. I mean, it's really just an amazing thing. You know, he stood in front of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, a couple of days ago with those red lights. That looked demonic itself. And I mean, it was like an angry rant from an old man, get off my lawn, like that is not what a president is supposed to do. And, I guess it's a political play. I mean, maybe they think they're going to gin up the base for the election in November, but I don't think it's going to work. And we learned a long time ago when we were in elementary school, when somebody starts calling you names, it means they don't have a good argument, and that's what the president's done here. It's patently clear for everybody to see.
But Mike, I'd like to know what I'm doing wrong. I got up this morning, I cleaned up, brushed my teeth, okay, got dressed, fed my daughter, got her medicine, came to work. I work hard today till I go home. I'll go home. I might cook, might not, depending on what we got at the house. Make sure my daughter, talk to my wife. I mean, what am I doing wrong here? I mean, I put a little bit of money back for savings, put a little bit of money back in case one day the Lord lets me retire. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not going after anybody. I'm not going after anybody personally. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So, I mean, what am I doing wrong? I mean, I'm not going to ever give in to their Marxism. Never. I'm never going to give in to it. And the global climate change, which I think is a bigger lie than face masks. And so I'm the bad guy now because I have a disagreement with what the president does. I'm a bad person all of a sudden?
Well, no, more than that, you're a fascist and an extremist. I mean, that's what he's labeled you because, Moon, I know you well, and I know that you actually don't like, high gas prices and record inflation and surging crime rates. So if you have a differing idea than what his policies have yielded, in his mind, you're an enemy. If you want stable gas prices and affordable, energy, and you want a border that's secure, and you don't want 87,000 IRS agents coming to harass middle-class taxpayers and small business owners, and you want some stability, and you want to meet our recruitment goals for the military, et cetera. Well, you must be an extremist because, that's effectively what he told us in his speech. And I think this is going to backfire pretty fantastically. Whatever their objective here is, I don't think it's being met. I think it's having the opposite effect. And, I'm out moving around the country, moving around the state. I'm talking to voters and people. They are very, very upset with what they see coming from Washington and the trajectory of the country, and they're desperate for change, and I think we're going to get it on November 8th.
Yeah, I guess the reason he does a speech and calling people out has got to be to try to build up the base. Because, in the off-year elections, the president usually suffers. And in the real world, where the media was doing their job, first of all, they'd never won an election. But number two is they would get demolished this time. I don't know if they get demolished. They ought to get demolished. They deserve everything they get.
Well, that's exactly right. And it's a distraction. because they don't want people to pay attention to the issues and to their obvious record. He can't run on his record. He can't stand up there and say one positive good thing he's done for the country, so he's got to call out the other side. And, I mean, I don't think that strategy is going to work. I think we're going to have a red wave. And I'm still optimistic we can win the Senate. It'll be narrow. But we're definitely going to win the House. And I think we still have a great shot at the Senate. So we'll see. I mean, a lot can happen in the next 60 days or so. But, I think the country's had enough of this.
Yeah, and I hope it is, because as I tell people that vote Democrat, they really are the ones that have to wake up and see what their own party's doing to them. They have to realize what's coming. They will be in a bad situation as well. Even though they're fussing at us, they're going to be in a bad situation as well. Anyway, Mike Johnson, Congressman Mike Johnson, 6th Congressional District. Thanks, Mike. We'll do it again soon.
You got it, buddy.
All right.